Hi everyone, welcome back to The Artist, Save Scumming. Today I'm going to be giving you a real quick look at one of the campaigns I've been working on for probably about a week now. This is the first ever campaign that I've played as Ku'gath Plaguefather in any capacity to actually progress in the campaign. I've opened it up a few times to basically look at the mechanics and try to get my head around them, and I just came to the conclusion for the longest time that this is not a faction that really fits my playstyle. I consider myself a hyper-aggressive player, and case in point, my go-to race in Warhammer 2 was the Skaven, and I still really enjoy the Skaven, but if I had to pick a Warhammer 3 faction, it would be Nakari, because I think given his start both in Realms of Chaos and Immortal Empires, he really benefits from a very aggressive play style, and I think that's why a lot of people have a problem with his campaign. I plan to do a walkthrough of his campaign probably after I spend a little bit more time in this one, but I kind of wanted to give you guys a look at my best performance that I think that I can do on a Kugath campaign really quick, and I wanted to kind of get a sense of if I'm missing the mark. Those of you who have played the Nurgle faction, let me know if I'm underperforming here. So it is turn 45. It is, of course, very hard legendary. And the strat that I used was, obviously it's very linear through here. You take these. So about turn 5, you're here. And you're, in my opinion, hard scripted to fight Gorst. So Gorst is going to originate from over here, and he's going to be fighting this Skaven faction. So if you set up a 2-lord situation here, you can catch him basically around this settlement pretty reliably, in which he's usually got 2 armies, and you can trap one of them inside the settlement and then fight the other one or drive the other one off with your main army and then crush this position. You then come over and basically take out the Haunted Forest, which is really easy because it's not a city. It's an unwalled single settlement, so it's really easy. Then I think what you have to do is toy with him. Allow him to keep this position, because if you take this position, you instantaneously meet whatever this faction is, Zhao Ming's faction. I can't remember. I've never played Cathay. I don't really find them to be very interesting. If you take either this position or this position, you meet the main Cathayan faction right here. And in doing so, that's going to kick you off in a war that you're probably not ready for. So I suggest that you basically hold off on taking those and basically just keep an auxiliary army over here to kind of keep an eye on him, raise it as necessary, because he's going to try to continuously take this position here, and it's pretty predictable. You're also going to have help from the Skaven faction and these ogres, so it's totally manageable once you've got him down to a single settlement to basically keep him only recruiting trash. So from there, you take out this faction here, this ogre faction, and that's going to shoehorn you into a fight with Imric. Now, this is where I got Kugath wounded, actually, in an attempt to basically pull Imric away from his supporting armies, and I did that, and I was very easily capable of crushing the rest of Imric's territory. I was able to take this position, but then also I noticed that these are unpleasant climates, so I sold the whole thing to Clan Rictus, and then brought myself over here, and by that time I was already at war with Greasus, which is, in my opinion, another hard script for you to go to war with. Excuse me. The only problem with that is all of his territory is unpleasant, and I thought about selling it to Grimgor to make friends with him. I have made friends with Grimgor, if we look here. He likes us. And I think I'm going to try to maintain that. I think here pretty soon he's going to start going to war with Tretch, and because of that, I feel like I'm going to be involved in some more conflict over here. So that's what this army is actually doing. But the idea is that I think he's the big baddie in the region. I want to kind of stay on his good side until I conquer a substantial proportion of Cathay. I've started to work into Cathay with 2 main armies. I got one here that's led by Papa Sludge himself, and then this one's working its way down here. And I think that it's going to be a pretty quick takeover of most of this suitable climate here. pushing up this way towards, what's his face? The Tzeentch faction that's up here. Warriors of Chaos guy. Village. But what I really wanted from you guys is to look at the territory that I've taken in 45 turns and give me an idea of how I'm doing. Because, again, this is not my suggested campaign. I do not like to sit around and do nothing. And there are many times where you can't really do a whole lot because it seems to me like, I don't know if it's a combination of the terrain and the low recruitment, or not low recruitment, but low quantity of available units at the beginning of the campaign that makes it kind of a slog at the beginning. And it makes me just feel like I wasn't doing a whole lot, where usually I'm completing provinces in rapid succession and just trying to create that steamroll that moves us for a sustained march. I'm using the units that I got at the very beginning of the game, like way into turn 50, 60 area. So that's my normal MO. And with Kugath, I find that you can't really raise and disband armies, especially if they got anything nice in them. Like this army over here was raised to start going to war with these factions, but then they were confederated by Grimgor. So I can't really do anything but maybe go for this. But I've got some plague bearers in there and one of my spawns, and those are in short supply. So I don't want to just disband this army because it costs me a fair amount of money to recruit. Like if we look at Nurglings are cheap, but if we were to look at spawn, wherever they are, spawn 1700 plague bearers, those are exalteds. Plague bearers 1190, like they're not cheap. And given that you have a finite number of them at any given time, I don't want to just disband this army, even though I don't plan to do anything major in this area for a minute. I feel like I kind of have to start some shit. I do find the plagues to be kind of ancillary. You spend most of your infection resource just infecting your own stuff to get it to grow. You're just spamming this plague with any add-ons that you want into this region because it doesn't spread through your own region because it's like separated by water. So like even though this is all one province, I've never up to this point had a plague spread from here to here or to here. On the mainland here, I've had this plague spread here and go all over the place, right? But this stuff I cannot get to spread. Even I've gotten everything that I have had access to up to this point that increases its spread chance. I just don't think that it can spread over water. So I feel like you spend an inordinate amount of that resource just trying to get this main province up and running. And I mean, perhaps I'm missing something, but you guys tell me. I'm having actually a better time. I'm finding this very fun and challenging because this is a different experience for me. At first I hated it, but now I think that I'm going to be able to produce a pretty awesome guide on this thing. It's just, there's a lot more nuance in it than I initially thought, which is usually the case. I hear, like, the one in particular that I hear people say is really tough is Nikari, and I've never had a problem with Nikari because I find the cheesy tactics to be very intuitive to me, and I think that Nurgle has a fair amount of cheesy tactics, but they're just hidden better than some of the other factions. But anyway, that's what I got for you today. Sound off in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching here at this Art of Safe Scumming, and we'll see you on another one here in relative short order. Thanks. Bye.